Hey y'all, it's Diane with Shawcraft One and my old barn door, and I had a couple of people who asked me to do a tutorial on how I make my shaker cards or my little shaker things. So I'm working on a Christmas journal now, so I'll use some Christmas paper. I don't go out and buy acetate or any of that stuff, and I don't have a fuse tool. So I was making a book one day and I wanted a shaker card in it, but I didn't know how in the world to do it, so I just kind of came up with this. So this is just it's in a little bag that some stickers came in, and I thought, well, why can't I use that, you know, to make a shaker card out of? So I had to just kind of get a little creative. And so here's what I did. I'll show you what I did. And let me grab some scissors because I'm going to need to cut this eventually. So what I do is I just kind of open this up. Trying to make sure you guys can see. And then I'm just going to cut this little tab off because we're not going to need that little tab. So we'll get rid of that. And then I just have some glitter and little sequins, so we'll use some of that. But before we put that in there, we're going to sew this onto this paper, and I'm going to sew it so that it can open up and have a picture tucked in behind it. So I think I want to go this way with it. Actually, I think I want to go on this side. And you'll see why in a minute. And you can see right here, you see this little, this is where they fused this bag together. Well, I don't want that on my shaker card. And I'm going to leave the top open right here. So right now, I'm only going to sew on two sides of the plastic. And I'll show you why in just a second. So I hope you can see this okay. I know you can't see my sewing machine real good. But I just kind of line it up at the edges, you know, line it up at the edge, here and here. And then I'm going to sew down those two sides. So I'm just going to sew it real quick. If I can get all this stuff out of the way. And I'm going to do a couple of back stitches because there will be things that are going to be you know, sliding in and out of this little pocket, so I don't want it to come loose. So I want to make sure that the stitching is in there really well. And then back stitch there. Okay, so then you have something that looks like this. And then you have this end is open, and then this end is open. So this end opens into the bag. So what we're going to do now, let's see, I'm going to take some sequins, and I'm going to do greens because it's, you know, Christmas time, and I'm just going to pour a few into the bag. And it doesn't take a whole lot. I mean, very few. I've made, I don't know, I have this size bottle, and I've probably made 5 or 6 out of it already, and I still have half a bottle left. So let's see, what other color? I think we're going to do gold glitter. So, let me see. We're just going to pour some glitter in there, and again, it doesn't take, you know, a whole bunch. Okay. And as you can see, I don't have a whole lot of stuff, and I don't need a whole lot of stuff. I do a little at a time, and then whatever I need, I go get. Now, I bought this last year at Hobby Lobby, maybe the year before last. But they just are look like really cute little pieces that, you know, have things on them for the holidays. So I'm going to throw a couple of those in there just to give it a little something extra. see. I think that's enough. So we're going to just drop these down in here. And I always like to make sure that they're facing, you know, forward. Because you don't want, which I mean, the back is glittered, so it doesn't really matter. But anyways, so I'm just going to chunk those in there. So then you have something that looks like this. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew closed where I left the opening for the glitter and stuff to go in. Okay. I'm going to scoot that over just a little bit. So we're going to sew this one closed. And you want to make sure this is kind of flat. You know, it's not going to be flat because you have stuff in it, but you want it to be flat enough to where it's even on your page over here. Back stitch a couple of stitches. And then at the top you're going to back stitch as well, because you are going to have things sliding in and out of your pocket, and you want to make sure that it's reinforced really well. Okay, so then you have this. And then you have this that's open at the top, but your glitter and stuff is not going to come out. You can shake it and all that good stuff. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my trimmer and I'm going to trim this up. So I'm just going to trim this side off. And I like to leave my strings because I like to do vintage journals, so it just kind of gives it more of a vintage look. So I just leave them on there. Okay, so you trim that side off, and then you're going to come over here and trim this side. And make sure you don't trim your stitching, because you want to leave that on there. And as I trimmed my stitching, I got it anyway, and I didn't need to. But of course, we're on camera, so that always happens. So you just trim around. And then you have the cool little strings hanging off. And you have your shaker. And then I'll show you. Let me see if I can just find a scrap little piece of paper here. Oh. Let's see. So now you can put a picture behind here. You can put a tag behind here with some little ribbon hanging off the top or whatever. But you have a cute little Christmas shaker card, or you know, you don't have to make a Christmas one. You can do it with whatever. But that just is a way to show you how to use what you have at home when you don't have the acetate or the fuse tool or all that good stuff. If you don't have a sewing machine, I don't really know. I mean, I think you would probably have to have the fuse tool, because I don't think hot glue would do it. Hot glue, you could probably see it through the plastic. So, but anyway, that is my nifty, cheap little way of making a shaker card without having to go out and buy special stuff. So, hope you guys liked my video. If you like it, hit the like button. If you're not yet a subscriber, go ahead and click the subscribe button as well. Leave me any comments or questions that you have below. And you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.